We want to see a different picture. Mr. President, we saw there is an allegation about a white helicopter. And recently we saw the owner of the white helicopter in the stairs of power. We have seen how Kamket is talking. It seems they have managed to create a narrative that we used to talk about state capture. Now we are in that moment where we as the people of Baringo feel like the government has been captured by very bold bandits. One of them was able to airlift bandits from a court to deliver them to their people for celebration
broad daylight.
In broad daylight. For how long is this going to manifest? We are a civil people. We are a people who decided to embrace civil society. It is not like, Mr. President, we are not able to carry arms. It's not like we are not able to source for these firearms. But we are a civil people. We believe in the rule of law. And that is why we are asking that the rule of law prevails. We don't want to get desperate. When our people are being killed, Mr. President, when this community, how will this Baringo be the same when others are maiming others? When our own are being killed? We are now partakers of burial services instead of being partakers of Christ. We are supposed to be going to church.
Leo tumekuja hapa kuungana na wenzetu ambao wamebaki kwa sauti yetu pale chini wakati tunapoumia. Tunasema pole, hata tukijiambia pole watu wa Mugutani kwa sababu ya kupoteza mwenzetu NPR juzi, bado mwili yake iko mochari na tunamsika yeye Saturday. Leo Ken wakati alipeana hiyo report, mimi nasema pongezi Ken, umefanya reporting kwa Mugutani ward kwa njia mzuri, na wale journalists wote ambao mmefanya vizuri. Leo hii tunasikitika kwamba ile laini ambayo kila siku tunatumia ya kuongea na kufikisha ujumbe wetu kwa rais wetu na kwa Kindiki na kwa wale wote ambao hawako pale chini, leo wanatreteniwa ndio wasifike pale, ndio wasipeane ujumbe. Sisi tunaomba hivi, tunajua Mheshimiwa Kamket kila wakati anaongea, tunasikia tu kwamba kila wakati anaongea ripoti fulani inafika, lakini kama ni yeye ndo anasema kwamba mtu ashikwe na yeye hajashikwa, yeye ndo angepaswa kushikwa. Kwa sababu watu wanatoka kwake wenye wanaua watu. What we want to see in this government is fairness. The fairness of those people who are being killed. The fairness of the mother whose child was killed. The fairness of a lady whose husband was killed. The fairness of a father. The fairness of a child whose father was killed. Where is justice in this country? Leo hii tukisikia Kenya kwa ndani, hatujui kesho journalist yupi atakuwa na uwezo ya kufika kutufikia. Kila mtu atakataa kuja kupeana hiyo report kwa sababu sasa wametreteniwa wote. This is a threat to the justice in this country.
The RUTO has been summoned by the DCI, and the summon is so gaugy. It's a gray area. We don't know why he's been summoned, but what we suspect is that Ken has been summoned because of the story he did, and we all did last week, concerning Kabindasum Primary School that were raided by the bandits just a day before the rehearsal. So we saw yesterday the summon by the DCI of the members of parliament in Nakuru, and they received a formal summon. For RUTO received verbal communication from an officer, not just a formal way of inviting for a summon. What is not very clear is why he's been summoned. And prior to that, Ken received some threats, including some of my colleagues here, from the government officials, especially from the police and officers from the office of the county commissioner. So today has culminated to the summon of Ken RUTO. But we want to say this came immediately after the member of parliament of Tiaty constituency, William Kamket, announced publicly in a public baraza on Saturday that the journalists should be investigated. Immediately Ken was summoned by the DCI. So the question is are the DCI or police working for politicians? Because immediately Kamket said we should be investigated. Ken RUTO has been summoned by the police, and this came as a surprise to us because Honorable Kamket is a journalist. He's a veteran journalist. He knows the code of conduct. He knows the parameters of what we do. He insinuated that the journalist did a drama of 7 hours. Let's be very clear. As a journalist, we are not drama. We are not drama king or drama queen. We are professionals. When Kamket announced that in public baraza, it not only threatened our presence in that meeting, and of course other subsequent meetings that will come in any other area if such utterances is taken seriously. And finally, to add on what Kamket said, is he actually particularly described the issue at Kabindasum as a drama. What we are aware is in Kabindasum Primary that day there were 4 groups. There were the primary school and the fraternity of Kabindasum Primary School. There were the journalists, there were the police and the bandits. What we don't understand is Kamket elaborated so much about what happened there. While we are aware, nobody saw Kamket there. So if I was to guess, I would only assume that Kamket was on the other side because he was not on this other side. So we want to ask the politician to respect what we do, especially the member of parliament for Tiaty, and give us room to work harmoniously. Because as for now, as you speak, we fear for our lives if someone of Ken RUTO is anything to go by. And this is purely intimidation by the state on what we do daily. The CCIO mentioned and categorically that this is an operation area. As a journalist, we are not bound in any other areas. Even if it's in war zone, you can see what's happening in Palestine. We don't get invitation letters to go for such event. We cover for the people. We cover for the truth to expose what's happening down there. But we want to be given room. We are not requesting much. We are saying, give us a room to work. This place is very sensitive. Yesterday, the Cabinet Secretary for Internal Security, Professor Kindiki Kithure, was in Luruk. 5 kilometers from there, one person was killed. That's pronounced loudly how sensitive this issue is. So such summon is not only a threat to a journalist, but as a threat to freedom of press. And we want to condemn that. I want to call the Media Council of Kenya, the Kenya Union of Journalists. I've talked with Eric Omondi. I've talked with Olo Janak, with KCA, IMLU and Article 19. We want to really call out to such an issue so that no such an incident will happen after this event. I want to...
It is this same wind that has blown through our brother Ken and exposed the anus of that chicken. They say when the wind blows, the anus of the chicken gets exposed. And Mr. President, I want to tell you, your security team is exposed. They slept in the job, and that's how capitalism happened. They slept in the job, and that's why they were surrounded for 7 hours. They slept in the job, and that's why a 29-year-old man is still in the mortuary. We are yet to.
So we have just had a session with the DCI Cabernet, and my client was summoned on Monday in relation to the incident at Kapindasum, and we have had around a session of about 6 hours. We have just concluded. We are not really sure what the DCIO or the investigators wanted, but the bottom line is we do not want to believe this is one of those classic incidences of intimidation of journalists. We want objective investigation. We want the investigators to go to the root of the problem, which is the problem of banditry affecting the people of Kapindasum within Baringo County, Baringo South constituency. We insist that journalists should be protected. Journalists should be led should be given the freedom to do their work. We seriously want to guard the freedom of journalists. We do not want journalists to be intimidated. We will give the investigators any information that they will need, which is within their purview and which is within the journalists' code of ethics to disclose. So at this moment I really do not want to say much. We are yet to know if the police intend to prefer any charges against my client, but if they do, then we shall defend our client vigorously and defend the freedom of journalism, which we feel is under attack. I think for now we'll leave it at that. We'll let the investigators conclude the investigation, and if there are any charges we shall attend court. I think that's all for now.
How long did the